guys, oh my goodness, I am so excited today. I feel like a little kid on Christmas because we are about to leave to go pick up a spinning wheel from the 1800s. Presumably, we'll find out more about it later, but I am so excited. I showed this to you guys in my last vlog, and a couple of you were like, you should really get that if you want it, and I honestly haven't been able to stop thinking about it, so we are gonna go head out and get it right now. I think it's gonna be so fun, and I can't wait to share more of it with you guys. So before we get into anything else, because I can't really focus right now, let's go grab the spinning wheel at the store, and we will take a look at it together. By the way, if you're new here, sorry for the chaotic intro. My name is Dana, aka Blondie Knots here on YouTube, and I'm just so excited to share this experience with you guys. So let's go pick up the spinning wheel. Well, hello guys. As you can see, the wheel is up and assembled and looking beautiful as ever. It has been a couple of days since I've spoke to you last, but that is actually on purpose. I wanted to learn just a smidgen more about this wheel before I came on and talked about it with you guys. I am still no expert by any means and completely open to any experts who might have advice for me or help with some terminology. I would love some pointers, but I did take some time to learn a little bit more about my wheel, so I figured I could share all that information with you guys. This is a learning experience for me, so if you're interested in learning about the wheel at the same time as me, we can learn together. So this is actually called a great wheel, a walking wheel. It has quite a few different names, and these wheels do date back to the 1800s, at least from what I kind of understand from videos I've seen and the little bit of research I have done. This wheel is actually also the wheel they like slightly reference in the Disney movie Sleeping Beauty, which was my favorite movie growing up. And so funny, I was actually so scared of spinning wheels for the longest, and I remember getting to an age where I realized spinning wheels aren't a thing I have to worry about, and I remember the relief I felt, and now here I am, I actually own one. So it's really a full circle moment. From what I understand, the Disney version is like a made-up version of the spinning wheel. One of those doesn't really exist, but it is and would be based off of this particular model of spinning wheel, which is really cool. So the other really cool thing about the wheel is, since it is a walking wheel, you do stand when you use it, which is such a plus for me personally. I love my craft. I love knitting and crocheting, but it is so stationary. So I do think having something I can stand and work and feel creative at the same time is going to be so lovely for me. So I'm really excited about that part of it. And I have also learned that even though this wheel looks super simplistic and just a couple pieces thrown together, it is a little bit more complex than I originally anticipated, and there needs to be a lot of parts that work in order for you to be able to spin yarn. So I'm a little bit worried about that, but I honestly do believe, and maybe I'm being a little optimistic, that my wheel will be able to spin again one day with a little bit of help, and I will get into that in just a little bit in the video. But I wanted to give you a couple more measurements and an idea of the size of this wheel. So the wheel itself is 41 inches in diameter, and the entire thing from front to back of the wheel is about 68 inches long. So it's a pretty big device. It is able to come apart, so the wheel does come off completely, and that is how we got it home. And there's just a little nail that holds the wheel in place. I'll take it out and show you. It is probably the original nail. It's just this rusted little nail, but he does work perfectly, and that's the only way we were able to fit it in a Hyundai Elantra, if you can even believe that. It's so funny because, I don't know, maybe some of you are really into history like I am, but I want to know every single place this wheel has been. I want to know its life life story, who touched it, all those things. And unfortunately, that's not something I'll be able to know about my wheel in particular. All I do know is that this wheel was sitting in a barn for the last 30 years and has not been in service for at least 30 years and probably a lot more even before that. The lady who got rid of this wheel was just moving and doesn't have room for it or didn't want it, whatever the case may be. And that's how it ended up at the antique store that I bought it at. I am really grateful I got my hands on it. I have been watching a lot of YouTube lately. Jillian Eve has been my main source of information. She is really well versed in the topic of spinning wheels. She has, what I can see, a bunch of different types of spinning wheels and a couple videos on the great wheel, which is really great because I haven't actually seen a lot of videos available to me or ones I really am finding interesting and really helpful for me. So I'm really grateful for her and taking her advice as far as who to contact for parts or what your wheel might need is Bobbin Boy, who is who I actually reached out to, and they are going to be helping me with my wheel. This isn't sponsored or anything like that. I'm paying with my own money and all the things. They don't even know I'm making this video. I'm just trying to give you all the information so I can help you as much as possible in case you're ever interested or stumble upon a wheel yourself, or maybe you just got one and you want to learn a little bit more information. I will link anyone I talk about in the description box so you can easily access it. But I reached out to Bobbin Boy on like a Thursday night at 7 or 8 p.m. and they got back to me first thing Friday morning, like literally 7 a.m. Friday morning. So they've been really helpful and really nice to work with. They're very understanding that I don't know much about my wheel and I'm just learning as I go. So they've helped me a lot along the way in knowing whether this is even a venture worth going on with this wheel. And luckily I do have the parts that will make this wheel work. So I'm feeling really good about that. I will go into a little bit of what I'm missing and what I will be ordering from them. And as we go on in this journey, I'll be super open about pricing and how much I paid to get my wheel restored back into a working condition. Right now, off the bat, I am $75 in with this wheel. That's how much I ended up getting it for. I was able to bargain with her a little bit. It was $100, and since I have some parts I need to buy, I was like, can I get it for $75? And we agreed on $75, so that was good. I have seen a lot of people get them for even less than that and with more working parts, so I really don't know what a good deal on a wheel is. I just didn't think I would probably come across another one of these for a really long time, so I did jump on the opportunity to purchase a wheel when I saw one. So take that as you will and with a grain of salt. I'm definitely not the one to ask about what a good price on a wheel is. As far as what I'm going to send in, this is called my Mother of All, in case you're not familiar with it. And this part is missing two maidens that stick out from either side of the Mother of All. And then I'm missing the spindle, which I believe is gonna go into this hole right here. This side is closed up, so that's my best educated guess that it actually comes out of here. But again, I'm not super sure. And I know in the maidens, I will have bearings and things like that that are sometimes made of corn husks, sometimes leather, and I'm unsure about what version I will get from them. I just know I have to send this piece into them. And the reason they need this piece is because there was a lot of great wheels made in the 1800s, and they're all a little bit different from what I understand, or at least there are different models and versions and makes of them, or year they were made, who even knows. But I know they do need my particular Mother of All to get the real measurements off of this. She has definitely seen better days, that is for sure. A lot of old wood shot out of this thing while I was driving home with it, so I know she's definitely a little bit old and dusty rusty, but she still is in, I guess, fairly good condition. I don't know what good shape would be for this, and I'm not even sure if this will be a usable piece. They might have to make me a new Mother of All, and if they do, I'm totally open to that. But it seems like they're really into keeping as much of the antique as possible, so I think if they can salvage my Mother of All, they will, and I will share more about that when we get there. But in the bottom, you can see there was like some kind of cloth or cheesecloth or something in the bottom of the holes here, so I'm not sure what all that was or what it is, and I'm just gonna leave it and send it to him as is. So this is the piece I'll send. I'll be expecting to get back 2 maidens with the bearings and then the spindle to actually spin the yarn with. I do also know I will need a drive wheel, but a drive wheel, from what I understand, was typically a piece of linen or cotton or just something they had laying around. I was envisioning like a literal belt, like for a car or a bike or something like that, and it's not that at all. So I think that's something I'll just be able to make at home, watching more videos, learning more things. That is definitely another thing I know I will need in order for this wheel to work. So right now it is obviously unworkable because this is the only piece of the whole front of the wheel that I do have. Giving you more of a close-up on the wheel, it just goes right on to this piece here. And I'm unsure actually what this is called, I don't remember, but this knob right here, and the reason I have this little configuration is I'm assuming for the tension of the drive belt. So once you put your drive belt on, if it's too loose, you can make your tension tighter or looser just depending on which way you need to go with this. I've seen a lot of the tension mechanism in the middle of the wheel on some of the ones I've seen, but mine's obviously attached to this part here. Another thing I know is really a positive when it comes to my wheel is this is I wish I remembered the name of this thing, but mine has a male end to it instead of a female end. And I know that a female end is a little bit trickier to work with and you have to have the male end added onto it. So I'm glad I have that. I hate that it's called male and female, but you know, that's okay. We'll look past that right now. And the rest of it, I really am unsure if it's in what they would consider to be good condition or not. I would say I feel like it's in pretty fair condition. I mean, really the mother of all is probably the worst part of this whole wheel at the moment. And I'm really pleased with what I see, at least initially. I do also plan to wax this and re-oil like the wheel part and some of the things like that. Only I'm a little bit nervous to put a wax onto it and stuff until I do a little bit more research. So also, if you have any kind of helpful tips as far as waxing goes, I am so open to that. The other really cool thing that Bob and Boy checked with me before I sent my mother of all in is to make sure I have a bush hub or hub bushing. I can't remember which one it's called, but it is this piece in the wheel right here. And that keeps it stabilized and not wobbly when the wheel is turning like you see here. So I did send them a photo of it. They said that that looks incredible and they were very happy with that. So that was very, very kind of them to do. The wheel kind of does move on its own when you let it go, which is interesting just for a second there. And then there's the nail I showed you and the wheel just comes right off. I also do know you can attach some washers into here in case you have some movement in your wheel, which I think I have just a slight bit. It's actually not moving right now, but you can just add some leather or even cardboard washers I've heard people use in this area right here if you need a little bit extra stabilization. I've also been learning that it is okay if your wheel has cracks in certain places and not okay in certain other places. I'm not sure if all my cracks are technically acceptable, and I think a lot of that will come into play once I get my other pieces back and I actually try to finally start spinning yarn on my spinner. I have heard stories of people who end up having a warped wheel and the drive band just won't stay on the wheel, so that's going to be something we experiment as we go along. I'm a little bit nervous about it, but I'm going to just think positively and think my wheel is going to be great once I get my other pieces back for the wheel. So just really excited to go on this adventure with you guys and with the wheel. Spinning is something I'm super interested in getting more into, and I would love to be able to have this beautiful antique spinner back into a working condition. As I mentioned, I'm certainly looking for some recommendations for wax. Maybe a stain. I don't know that I'll stain mine, but I do know a lot of people do restore them by staining them. I'm okay with the color of the wood on here. I don't know. I'd rather probably wax it, condition the wood, and then put some kind of oil or grease or something onto the wheel, because I know people do add that as well. So I'm not going to do anything until I get a professional opinion on that. But right now that is kind of where I'm at and what I can probably do before I actually get spinning and get my parts back from Bob and Boy. I also forgot to mention that the reason they checked to make sure my bush hubbing was intact, I think might be the word for it, is because if it wasn't there and the wheel was wobbling and stuff, you have to send your entire machine, wheel, this pedestal thing, the whole 9 yards would have to be sent to them, and they would have to fix the wheel on your own wheel. They can't like just have you send the wheel in and fix it there or whatever. So that would have been a whole nother adventure that I was not looking to go on. So I feel so fortunate that my wheel had some key components in order to at least start the process. They obviously also don't guarantee anything, but I feel pretty confident that we're going to be able to get this into a spinning condition, and I'm really, really excited excited about that. So I hope if you're completely new to spinning wheels, I was able to educate you just a tad bit on a wheel and what I have learned as a completely beginner wheel owner. I've only owned this wheel for a couple days now, so I'm just gonna keep learning more and trying to find more resources of where I can learn more about my great wheel. Again, any tips are super, super appreciated, and I'm so grateful for the videos I am able to watch now and just learn more and more and get more excited about my wheel. And I hope you guys are excited about it too. So this journey is going to be really fun, and the more steps with the wheel we take, the more I'll update you with pricing, how it's going, and what condition my wheel is in. So that is actually all I have for now because it's not spinning. So until I send my parts in, which I'm going to get out tomorrow, I just wanted to wait to show you what I had before I send it out. So I'm gonna send those out tomorrow. And then it's about a 4 to 6 week wait to get the parts back. So they'll customize everything, make it, and then ship it back to me within 6 weeks, which I feel like is a very reasonable amount of time. It seems like they're very busy, which I think is awesome. I love that a lot of other people are also really excited about spinning. So that's great. And I'm just happy to have them accept me as a client, basically. So that's all I have for you guys right now. If you enjoyed this video and you are new to my channel, please make sure you give it a like before you leave today, and also subscribe. I post new videos every Monday, occasionally on Thursdays. They're always crochet, knit, craft related. Hopefully a lot more spinning updates to come. I will be seeing you in my next one. And until then, thank you so much for letting me take up a little bit of your time here on the internet today. Bye.